Have you ever wondered who's the best team, the best conferences, the best rivalries in all of sports? We're about to help you find out. It's called 10-10 XL Showdown, and it's up next.
I'm ready to bring the pain. Bear Bryant built the S.E.C. If you lost your mind, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Mike, it's time for me to school you. If you're talking school, it must be old school. I think you need to be heading there. Greatest of all time, you've got to be joking. You're just sucking up to those fans. Wrong. You're wrong. Just hear me out. That's crazy. You can't really believe he's the best. The man is a legend.
And indeed, we do welcome you to our program. It's 10-10 XL Showdown, where we debate topics in sports with you. Frangie, along with Mike Dempsey. We'll debate each week, and I may school you a little bit.
School me. I suppose that's old school, seeing how far you go back, but I'm here to show that you can teach an old dog new tricks.
All right, we're going to have a lot of fun with a lot of tricks. A debate every week, a different topic. This week, it's Southeastern Conference football. We'll have a good time with that. We'll debate the best coaches in the S.E.C. In fact, we're going to tell you who we think. But first, what do you think? We're going to take a look. It's called the Tom Bush BMW Shoutout. Take a look.
Best S.E.C. coach. I'd say Steve Spurrier.
I would say the Alabama coach with the hat, you know?
Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant, 12 national titles. I don't think anybody can argue with it. So some of these Gators may, but they're full of it.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Steve. Doesn't matter.
Probably
Got to be the Bear.
The Bear.
Spurrier, the Bear Bryant. But personally, though, on a personal note, I am a huge University of Kentucky fan, being from Lexington. So Adolph Rupp will get a honorable mention there in that case. Mark Richt.
And a Mark Richt sighting on the show. God bless fan loyalty. All right, the best S.E.C. coach of all time. Maybe not Mark Richt. Go first.
Well, you know
you're
what?
the guest here. Go first.
If you're going to at least go with Georgia, go with Vince Dooley. Can I get some agreement from you on that? But I'm going to go with another contemporary coach. I know what the pat answer is. I heard all those responses. Bear Bryant's the easy answer, but Bear Bryant had about 800 scholarships to give. I'm going with the guy who dragged the S.E.C. into the modern age, kicking and screaming. That's Stephen Orr Spurrier. What he did in his first 12 years at Florida, basically unprecedented in college football history, and he did it with guys that made no impact at the quarterback position in the NFL. He didn't have Joe Namath. He didn't have Ken Stabler. He had the likes of Jesse Palmer and Noah Brindise, for goodness sakes, winning a national championship, winning countless S.E.C. titles. Give me Bryant's players. I'll have more than those 6 titles with Stephen Spurrier.
You're going the ball coach. You're sucking up to the Gator fans.
I'm
Right
not
out of the
sucking
gate.
I got to be
you're sucking up to the
objective.
Gator
This
fans.
is about
that
being
took no
objective.
time at all.
Right here. I know where you're going. You're going with the chalk.
Well, let me tell you what. The bottom line is Bear Bryant is the greatest coach in college football history. The reason the S.E.C. is the best league is because Bear Bryant made it the best league. Bear Bryant, did he cheat a little bit? Yeah, probably. Did he hoard scholarships? Yeah, probably. What he did is he took a region that was not proud of anything and made it proud of football. And to this day, the S.E.C. is still the best. He taught people how to play. His disciples went all over the S.E.C. in the Southwest Conference and learned how to coach. Bear Bryant changed football forever in the Southeastern Conference, and it's why it's the way it is today. Bear Bryant is maybe the greatest coach in the history of college football.
Just because people in Alabama have nothing to be proud of doesn't make him the greatest coach
We're
in
on
the
to Florida.
history.
You're okay
What?
there.
Where's the wishbone now? Okay, is it all over the place? The spread passing game. Steve Spurrier's influence on the passing game in college football much more widespread today than Bear Bryant's influence was in terms of running an offense in college football. Again, give me the personnel that Bryant had versus his contemporaries. I'll take Steve Spurrier. I know the saying, Bear Bryant, he'll take yours and he'll beat you. He'll take his and he'll beat you. Steve Spurrier, I think that actually applies to it. And one of us sitting at this desk, by the way, I believe, has picked South Carolina to win the S.E.C. East, and it wouldn't be me. So I think you'd agree, South Carolina not having the best personnel, they do have one of the best coaches in America.
Mike, I love the ball coach. I think Steve Spurrier is a terrific coach, and I think he did change the S.E.C., but I think Bear Bryant built it. Bear Bryant taught people that you win with the line of scrimmage, and you win with athletes on defense, and teams are still winning that way. I think Steve Spurrier is going to win the S.E.C., but the reason I'm the only knucklehead picking them is everybody else thinks defense and athletes win, and they don't have as many of that. I love Spurrier. I love what Spurrier's done, but I think Bear Bryant is the greatest. So Mike you think Spurrier's the guy. I think it's Bear Bryant. Let's talk about a couple other guys. Where do you stand on Adolph Rupp? Now, Adolph Rupp is a basketball coach. I think he's sort of the Bear Bryant of basketball in this league.
Well, certainly when you look at career record and number of national championships, Kentucky, basketball stacks up there with anybody, and Adolph Rupp is the main reason why that is, but it was a completely different time, and you look back at that Texas Western National Championship in 1966 and Bryant playing with an all-white lineup against an all-African-American lineup. It just, things were different. I think the change in the game today, I don't know if Adolph Rupp would be able to adjust to today's modern game of college basketball the way some of these other old coaches in other sports would have.
But I still think basketball, more than anything else, is having more guys than the other guy has. Now, you're right. Did a guy who lived in the 50s, could he relate to today's athletes? I don't know. But he could hoard guys. It's still the same. Rick Pitino got a bunch of good players. The great coaches have a bunch of great players. And I think that's why people win in today, football or basketball. Speaking of that, we're in Gator country, obviously. Urban Meyer and Billy Donovan are both sitting on championships. Where will these two guys rank and as far as the great coaches? We're having this discussion 20 years from now. Start with Urban Meyer. Where's he?
Well, Urban Meyer, let's see him go 3 years at one program. We haven't seen that yet. Obviously, comes in and wins the national championship at Florida. Let's see him go through several recruiting cycles, bring in his own players, and let's see that spread offense with the guy that he got to run it in Tim Tebow in all its effectiveness. I think he's off to a great start, but Billy Donovan's got to be ahead.
Well, and I think that's the difference. Urban Meyer has yet to prove he can win with his athletes. He may be able to, but he hasn't proven it yet. Billy Donovan has proven that with his guys, he's done it twice now. He's gone with his players and won with his players. That's the difference, but they're both great, great coaches. That's our debate about the best coaches in the SEC. Well, what about the best players in SEC history? We'll debate that too right after this.
Stay tuned. Things are just heating up on the 1010XL Showdown presented by Florida Telco.
Welcome back to 1010XL Showdown, our SEC show. Are you like related to the Mark Richt guy with the glasses?
Why? Because I have passion for the teams I root for?
I love that. I love that. That guy's become my favorite guy. We're talking about the best in the SEC. We told you about the best coaches. What about the best players in SEC history? Once again, we want to know what you think. Once again, our Tom Busch BMW shout out. Take a look.
Joe Namath.
Danny Warfel.
Probably Herschel Walker, right?
I'd have to say Bo Jackson at Auburn. He was a hell of a baseball player and a football player. And I am an Alabama fan, so I don't often give Auburn a lot of credit.
It's got to be Charles Barkley, University of Auburn. That guy, 6'4", playing power forward.
I'm a young guy. I'm going to go with Corey Brewer.
Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith. Herschel Walker.
I'd have to say Danny Warfel.
Probably have to say Herschel Walker.
Rex Grossman.
Emmett Smith.
Rex Grossman sighting on the program. We've now got Mark Richt, best coach of all time. Rex Grossman, best player of all time.
Those are obvious picks.
We're learning. As a matter of fact, let's do this. The best way to talk about this is let's say who we think are our best 5 of all time. I'll let you go first. Best 5 athletes.
I heard a lot of Emmett Smiths on that list. Not even the best running back in SEC history. This is not about what you did in the NFL. I'll start at number 5, though. A sport that doesn't get a lot of publicity on the college level. Todd Helton for baseball, University of Tennessee. Good enough on the football field to hold Peyton Manning off as a starter for a brief time, but National College Player of the Year on the baseball field. Bo Jackson, I mean, come on, as a multiple sport athlete. If you're talking pure athlete, probably the best of all time, but a fantastic performer. Pete Maravich, number 3, LSU basketball player, averaged over 40 points a season for 3 consecutive years. Unprecedented score, and only played 3 years. Imagine if he had a 4th. Herschel Walker, I know he's fantastic, set a variety of records. Should have won probably a couple of Heisman trophies, but my number 1 performer, he's not the best pure athlete, but I'm going with another Gator, Frank. Danny Werfel is the guy. Heisman Trophy winner, won 4 SEC titles as a signal caller, and really presided over one of the greatest eras in college football, the Gator mid-'90s era. He, to me, is the best performer / athlete in SEC history.